Ladies and gentlemen of the tribe, and welcome back to another Galaxy of Heroes with me, your bald boy scribe, and a live studio audience in the chat down here. Look, they're so excited. They're all so excited. They're like, "Hi, Mom. I'm on YouTube. I'm famous." I say that to my mom and she tells me to shut up, but it's okay. Anyway, we have come towards the end of the era, the very first era in which we were having a journey guide character in the guise of Maul hate-fueled. And hate-fueled is probably quite right in terms of the reactions that certain people have been having to not only his event, but the way that this whole era system and structure was monetized. So just yesterday in our live stream, I did go around and managed to successfully beat the... Well, actually, I was going to go over here to the era units. Managed to beat the Maul hate-fueled event all the way up to 7 stars, and it cost me everything. It's an expensive endeavor. This first era that has a journey guide unit is probably a very formative part and gives us a clue as to what to expect going forward in the future and how much dinero, hard cash money. How many times do I have to flaunt myself on Only Scribes in order to afford brand new units? It's not particularly nice, it's not particularly great, and it's a little bit... Well, I don't know what the best term to use here is. I feel like it was a bit deceptive in how it came across in terms of this is how much you need to spend. Okay, so we've made some great learnings, I think. Great learnings from how we should go about unlocking characters to get a legendary unit. Now, there are going to be some rather large provisos here when it comes forward to the next era, starting in about 2 weeks' time of this recording at least, right? First of all, we don't know. Are we getting a new journey guide unit in the next era? Nobody knows. We don't know. Maybe, probably. I would like to assume we do. And the main reason for that is if we don't get an era journey guide unit in the next era, who's going to be spending on characters? Who's going to be trying to get 7-star units? I don't think anybody will drop boatloads of money just for Colosseum. We don't need Relic 10 just yet. We don't need it just yet. If there's no era journey guide unit, their money is going to drop off a cliff. And people did invest quite heavily to get around here. Generally speaking, you're looking at about $100 per character and 3 months of the episode pass. $20 per pass over 3 months. You're looking at a minimum entry point, realistically speaking, of $600 plus, right? But then there's the leveling. Going from era level 70 up to 85, you will have to, because there is zero way to get those era levels without spending real world money on these packs over here. All right, $18 a pop, and over here. And you need to buy these multiple times, as well as potentially getting additional era leveling currency if you want to do it quickly. Expensive. Lots of money. People spending over $1,000, $1,000 plus to try and get these characters, these legendary characters, on the first attempt. Is it worth it? Not really. Not really, that we could say. What I can say is, based on what we did experience... Sorry, I'm supposed to be going to the journey guide here. What we did experience in this unlock for Maul is that there were certain thresholds that were definitely 100% worthwhile. Hitting that 4-star unlock gave you good amount of era leveling currency and materials, as well as 2 lightspeed tokens that can be used on pretty much any character, apart from those that have been out new, or Galactic Legends, or Legendary units, or Conquest units, right? 2 relic level 6 and 7 stars. If you went up to the tier 5, you got additional 3 more Relic 6 Lightspeed tokens. Hitting this star unlock count for those Lightspeed tokens, absolutely worthwhile, and it's something that people should be looking to trying to do for future eras if there is a journey guide unit and you are comfortable taking on that level of risk that potentially those Lightspeed tokens might not be there for the next journey character. We don't know. This is the first time. CG might say, hey, look, you know those Lightspeed tokens that we gave with Web of Hate? They were because this was the era of the anniversary, right? Era of the anniversary. And we don't see it for future ones. We don't know if those Lightspeed tokens will be in this journey guide event when it becomes a legacy event. We have no idea. I would assume not, but maybe there will be. Who knows? Anyway, those Lightspeed tokens were 100% worthwhile and pretty achievable for free-to-play players, especially 4-star unlock. Doesn't cost a lot of crystals to get there. 5-star needs a little bit more thought, and if we've got a legendary journey guide unit coming in the next era, I will absolutely give you a step-by-step guide how to get this unlocked as easily as possible. It's going to take some sacrifice, but that is the cost. Okay, so we don't know what's waiting for the future. All right, I expect us to have a legendary journey unit coming out in the next era. Now let's talk about the event itself, because it was a little bit very disappointing. Okay, you get given loaned units at this stage. I don't know if it's going to be different when we hit the legacy version of this event, because the requirements will be different. Don't know if we'll still be using loaned units or new ones. Tier 1, absolutely no animations, no nothing. Minimal level of investment into like the actual event itself, right? You know, it's just a battle. There's not even any text in Tier 1. Very dull, and all you have to do is get 10 turns with your Stormtrooper Luke. That's the aim of the game. 10 turns with Stormtrooper Luke is all you need to do. Once you've done that, you have successfully finished the battle. Little bit disappointing if you ask me, but hey ho. When we were going around to getting the later tiers unlocked, I had a little bit of hope that maybe we would see something more. Maybe we would have a little bit more animations, maybe we would have a little bit of story thrown in, cool battles, a little bit of complexity to what we're doing, and we'll get to that in just a moment. So just showing you what Tier 1 looks like so you're all aware of what to expect. We're on 9 turns with Luke right now, one more turn and we will finish off this tier. There we go. Job done, right? No outro, no nothing. So that first one there, you take in your Luke, you have the error level of your Luke, and these two are loaned units, right? Tier 2, this is done with a 5-star character, right? Once again, you've got your Choda at whatever error level, or presumably whatever relic level you'll have, and then you get loaned units of Tarful and dirty, dirty clone troopers. Filthy. Now this one actually does have some level of narrative to it. Not much, but some. Okay, and it's certainly not in this first tier. So we're just going to focus down the Droideka. Rude. All right, we're taking him out. And then we actually do get one line of text. Execute Order 66 coming out from, you know, hologram Sidious, and we fight off against clone troopers. And all you have to do is defeat the clone troopers. There's no real approach. You also can't lose Tarful. So you might want to heal at some point, but I'm just blitzing through with pure damage. Goodbye, Tarful. Goodbye, Chewbacca. Miss you, I will. I miss the days in which we had some sort of animations and stuff and story in our events, but I'm trying not to be bitter about it. So that was like the first 2 stages. A little bit disappointing. Get you the 5-star unlock. Not too bad. The later stages, you needed to have Darth Vader Duel's End. And this tier here, where we play as Darth Vader Duel's End, is probably the most disappointing for me. Like, we go into the battle scene, and it is that scene from the end of the Kenobi series, facing off against Obi-Wan. And we have to get to using You Will Always Lose. Except Obi-Wan is permanently in Ultimate, and is constantly resetting our cooldowns. So you just have to sort of wail away and hope for some good RNG. And just don't use that first special if Obi-Wan has foresight. And that's the whole thing. You just, like, I was playing this event, I was like, I don't know if I'm winning or if I'm losing or if I'm doing stuff, because you can't defeat him with damage. You can't beat him with damage. You can only win if you use that second special. So again, it's like, whilst spectacle, I get it, fun, cool, right? Same time, you can see we're still on a 5 cooldown over here, and we're taking about 14 turns. Still on a 5 cooldown. We basically can't hurt Obi-Wan any further. Still on a 5 cooldown. And still on a 5 cooldown. And this is the whole event. This is the whole event. And this one, it doesn't even matter what your levels are. We can't even adjust speeds for modding. When it goes Legacy, I suppose we can do like loads of speed on Darth Vader Duel's End. I don't know how it's going to change. We don't know. Still on 5 for the cooldown. So you just go back and forth forever. Why is this a thing? Still 5 cooldowns. Still 5 cooldowns. Ah, okay. Still 5. Still 5. All right. Still 5. Don't worry, guys. We're getting there. I'm sure we're winning slowly. 4. If you get the dots, it's supposed to decrease your cooldowns. But he's had so many turns now. Ah, we did it! Thank God we applied all that strategy. You will always lose. That's what Vader says. And no auto button either, Jordan, in the chat is absolutely correct. No auto button. So 3 out of 4 of the tiers, maybe less than stellar. Now we've got the final tier over here, and the strategy tips are keen here. Through passion I gain strength, through strength I gain power, through power I gain victory. That does apply. So, battle. This time you get given a loaned Maul at error level 75. I don't know if that's going to be like a Relic 0 Maul, Relic 2 Maul, Relic 5 Maul, don't know. But it's a loaned unit for the last tier. We actually have some sort of animation. It's got a cool background, it's got a really angry Maul, he's a jumpy boy, and then we get some cool forced ghosts to fight against. And they're all Kenobi and they look sick. They look cool. I like these character models. I like the background. That's cool. And essentially you have to kill them in order. You have to go youngest to oldest, basically. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, victory. So you have to kill youngest, middle, oldest. And that's the approach. That's the approach. So just have some fun. Slap around the Knobsters as you like. You will take a lot of damage here. But Maul is pretty sturdy. He's quite an angry individual, generally speaking. So let's just go ahead and use the AoE. Gain some damage. JMK over there does do some damage immunity on Kenobi. But as long as you focus on Padawan Obi-Wan, you should be okay. You might have to run it a couple of times, but honestly, it's really not so bad. I tend to find you get through it relatively quickly, especially once Padawan Obi-Wan has fallen. Once he's down, it does get a little bit easier, because there's less damage on the field. Boom, boom, boom. So whenever you can, attack Padawan Obi, then go after GK, and then finally finish off with JMK. Even though we've got heal immunity, we do have that a revive, a one-turn revive, one-time revive even. And our attacks also can't miss, so the foresight really isn't too much of an issue. Oh god, that is frustrating though. It is frustrating when they have DI. Come on. Stop hurting me, Kenobi. Kenobis. Take him down. There we go. That should sort him out. Good. One step closer. Become angry. Looks like we may end up losing this battle against... Oh, JMK. JMK took a lot of damage from that first special. First special does do a lot of damage on Maul. I am excited to use him eventually, but we will have to wait and see. I think it's 2 weeks' time we'll be able to use him. So we should be able to have him in the last round of 3v3. Get the offense up and the crit damage up. Badam, bam. And there we go. And that's the whole event. I wouldn't say it's CG's finest moment. I wouldn't say it's CG's finest moment in terms of the events themselves. Hopefully, whatever we get next is a little bit more involved, but the character is still fun. They still have the capability of showing us some good stuff. The last map was cool. The strategy for most of it, it didn't really exist. I'll be honest. There was no real puzzle to solve here. There's no real engagement. It's not like we had to do something incredibly difficult to finish this. It's a kill order for the last tier. It's just take turns for the first tier. It's just take turns for the second tier. And it's God knows what you're doing in tier 3. Rolling your face over your phone until you can use that last special. Can't even auto it. Can't even auto it. I don't know what, like, this didn't feel like it was strategy. So, yes, maybe I'm being overly critical of the event. I don't know. Overall, I'm hoping that we have something better and more engaging in the future for the next legendary event. But character itself is cool, is fun to use, works well with strangers, so I'm happy in that aspect, I suppose. Who knows? Who knows? We've got 2 weeks to find out. We should be getting kit reveals for the next set of error units, essentially in the next week or so. It might be this week, it might be next week. From what I understand, from what Meathead has been saying, he's working on the kit reveals for all of the characters of the next era. So hopefully we'll see that soon. I will do a video out covering all the kits as soon as is possible. What are the whales paying for? ATP at the moment? Well, I mean, who knows? Who knows? The difficulty is the money spending. It is indeed. And we don't know when the event comes back what the tiers of requirements are going to be. Is it going to be full R5? Is it going to be R7? Is it going to be R8? No idea. We don't know. We can make assumptions based on the error levels, but those assumptions may be incredibly wrong. I will have a guide out for the event when it drops. I'll try my best to make sure that I can give you an idea of what you need to expect, what sort of modding to expect. But you let me know your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Tribe at home and tribe in the chat on this error structure, on this system. How have you liked Colosseum? How have you liked the web of hate? And what are your hopes for the future? I'm hoping it's an Old Republic error next, because that would be banging. Anyway, guys, give us a like, leave us a comment, and I'll see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.